राइडर्स डायरी के सभी सब्सक्राइबर्स, इस वीडियो के सारे व्यूवर्स और इंडिया के सारे राइडर्स को रोहन का सैल्यूट। So guys, today's video is dedicated to Mr. Sagar Choethani. He is from Mulund, Mumbai. He is one of our subscriber and actually he is supposed to buy our Benelli, but he finally decided to go for a TRK. He is already having couple of Harleys in his garage and he wanted to start with a adventure touring segment bike. So thank you very much for this request of comparison between Busa and Benelli 600 GT. So let's start the video. Few viewers, few subscribers also asked me the question, you go for long rides, 1000, 2000, 3000 kilometer rides, and basically you should select a tourer bike or a sports tourer bike, but why you have selected Hayabusa? So to be honest with you guys, everyone has a one dream bike at least in their life, and Hayabusa was a dream bike for me since very long. And I think the first time when I saw Hayabusa when I was in school, from that time decided that one day I'll buy this bike. वैसे टेक्निकली देखा जाए तो इन दोनों बाइक के बीच में कोई कंपैरिजन हो नहीं सकता, लेकिन आज हम लोग नॉन टेक्निकल बात करने वाले हैं। हम लोग कुछ ऐसे पॉइंट्स के बारे में बात करेंगे जब भी कोई राइडर अपनी बाइक सिलेक्ट करता है या राइडिंग करियर स्टार्ट कर रहा होता है या बाइक चेंज कर रहा होता है या फिर उसको कोई बाइक चाहिए होती है फॉर राइडिंग पर्पज, लॉन्ग टूर्स और एक लॉन्ग करियर के लिए, तब वो बाइक में क्या क्या चीजें देख सकता है, वो मेरा जो एक्सपीरियंस है वो मैं शेयर कर सकता हूं। अब टेक्निकली क्यों नहीं कंपेयर हो सकता, क्योंकि सबको पता है कि हायाबुसा का 1340 सीसी का इंजन है, बेनिली का 600 सीसी का इंजन है। बेनिली में 85 हॉर्स पावर की कैपेसिटी है पावर मैक्सिमम पैदा करने की, हायाबुसा में 198 हॉर्स पावर की कैपेसिटी है। सो टेक्निकली वी कैनॉट कंपेयर दिस टू बाइक्स एट ऑल. Specification wise for sure we cannot compare, but whatever experience I have till now of around 2500 kilometers of Busa and Benelli ka 3.5 years precisely, I have used Benelli 600 GT, so I can give you an idea about my experience, my riding experience and the basic differences between these two machines. So you will get a fair idea between a category of a bike, because 600 GT is a sport tourer motorcycle, whereas Busa is a hyper sport motorcycle, I would say. Both bikes are entirely different. So on that platform we'll try to discuss some of the important points. So let's start one by one. So first point is a riding position or a sitting position. So Benelli riding position is extremely comfortable. Your back will be always straight, as I same feedback given in my Benelli 600 GT long term ownership review part 1 and part 2. You can watch that video for a detailed review. Here I am just going to discuss on the summary. As you guys are aware, 987 kilometers I have clocked from Chennai to Kolhapur, Maharashtra in a day. You guys can also do it easily on Benelli, because that is actually very comfortable to ride on highways, whereas the Busa is having a little bit lean position where you have to little bit bend and ride the bike. So there will be pressure always on your wrist, elbow, shoulder and on thighs. So riding position is not that comfortable as compared to Benelli. Benelli, the seat is a little bit harder, so you need an extra cushion on that, and the seat height is also a little bit higher, what I felt personally while riding Benelli 600 GT. But whereas Busa is having a very soft seat that is actually very comfortable for cushioning point of view, and Busa seat height is very less, what I personally feel, and my both legs are very comfortably getting down. So the second point about the engine heat, especially in city riding, I said in my previous videos also, you take Hayabusa और Benelli, दोनों भी बहुत गर्म होते हैं सिटी में. Both are having a heating problem in city. Only thing is that Busa is having a side cover flaring, so the heating will be less outside as compared to Benelli. Benelli heat is directly coming on leg, you can feel it. You take any bike, liter class bike or a super bike, the heating problem will be always there when you ride the bike inside the city. Now next point is motorcycle weight. Motorcycle weight is something, if you take any liter class bike or super bike, it will weigh more than 180 kg at least, as good as more than a bullet 350 weight. So Benelli was 242 kg to 247 kg without a fuel, but when I used to ride Benelli, I used to feel it very heavy. I mean to say, when I ride inside the city or I stop on signal or taking forward or backward, it was very heavy. I feel like a बहुत heavy machine को मैं आगे पीछे move कर रहा हूँ, and it needs a lot of efforts to move. But Busa, even though it is 20 kg higher than Benelli 600 GT, that is 263 kg somewhere, 268 kg might be, it is not giving that feel that it is very heavy, because the handle position is also very down. Your position will make sure that, I mean, you're top of the bike, whereas in Benelli the handle is on little bit higher side, so it gives the push or pull activity becomes little bit difficult. That is what my personal experience is. So Busa taking in a parkings without switching on, or taking out from the parking without engine switch on, and some places it becomes really easy for me, and I don't know, surprise, I am also surprised after this my experience, but this is the fact. But यहाँ पे I want to highlight one point, that Busa's weight distribution is amazing. You will never feel that you are riding such a heavy motorcycle, and the weight distributions on corners when you lean the bike left or right, and weight distribution plays a very important role. The CG, center of gravity of the vehicle, which is very low to the ground, makes, I think मैं थोड़ा technical में घुस गया, but the CG has to be lower to get the more stability, whereas the Benelli CG is higher side. Busa's CG, center of gravity, is downside, so stability wise Busa I feel more stable on roads, and that is what I am getting more confidence when I ride a Busa as compared to Benelli. Now we will discuss little bit more about braking. Bike को भगाना, it's very easy. You give the throttle, bike will go very fast. But the most important thing is to control the bike with a proper braking. Use of front and rear brake combination to control the bike with proper engine braking is an extremely skillful job, and where Busa is extremely capable. Now one thing I want to highlight, the Benelli 600 GT and Busa both are non-ABS. The model which I am having is a non-ABS, so I can directly compare both the bikes because the disc size, the front and rear for Busa and Benelli 600 GT is similar. This is surprise, but still the braking capacity of Busa is extremely good, extremely good. You will never feel that you are losing control while you are applying a brake. In both the bikes, one important point what I noticed is a gear shifting frequency required. So normally when we are cruising on city or outside city or highways, even at a speed of 50 to 60 km per hour, we need not to downshift the gear from even from 6th gear. So that is advantage I felt in both the bikes. Gear ratio selection is so good in both the bikes that we need not to shift the gear down frequently, because both bikes are capable taking off in 6th gear 50 to 60 km per hour speed also. So in that aspect both the bikes are comparable. Okay, now next point I would like to discuss about the ground clearance. The ground clearance of Benelli is definitely much better because it's a sport tourer bike. So the application wise the ground clearance is better, and that's why the CG has shifted little bit out. The Busa ground clearance is less, it is I think 130 mm only. So while riding we have to be very careful. We have to make sure that the bottom is not getting touched somewhere, especially when you are negotiating off roads, and a taller size of speed breakers in some of the cities. And now coming to the luggage carrying capacity, Benelli is having a special place where we can put the side frames and we can add a saddle boxes or saddle bags, whatever we want, and we can carry a lot of luggage. Whereas Busa is not having such a facility as of now that we can put a saddle boxes. I have seen few videos where people have tried that, but I have not seen the maximum people are doing that, and the saddle bags also very rarely. Now coming to the next point, kitna deti hai, how much per liter mileage. Today this question is very important. The way the prices of petrol is getting high, up to 2021 I used to get the mileage on Benelli 600 GT, and whereas I got mileage 14 to 15 in between, I would say, during my recent travel from Nagpur, Maharashtra till Chennai. So that is how I calculated and I am sharing with you guys. So I would say the Busa is having three riding modes: full power, medium power and less power. A, B, C riding modes are there. I rode in full power only, complete throughout journey, but still I didn't feel that the mileage has dropped below 14. So the average what I get in between is 14 to 15 kilometers per liter. So I would say this is the best mileage what anybody can expect out of a liter class bike which is producing 198 horsepower. One of the thing which riders will consider is a road presence. Road presence and application, I would say both are different things, because with respect to application, definitely the bike structure will get changed, and with respect to that, the road presence or the appearance of the overall bike will get changed. Because if you're seeing a tourer bike, especially, the look will be very different than the sports bike, because one is meant for the tracks, one is meant for the off-roading or kind of urban semi-urban roads. So we cannot compare this, but still the road presence of both the bikes I would say is good in their respective segments. Benelli 600 GT, a tall stand bike, is also amazing in terms of road presence. If you park that bike in a parking outside in a public parking, it becomes eye catcher. And I think I need not to discuss the same point with Busa, because Busa is having its own charm. If you park it anywhere, definitely the crowd will get attracted, no doubt. So I would say it's more about your need, your reason for buying the bike. So I have made a special video for selection of bike for riding career. You guys can go through that video. You will get a complete guideline which bike to be select for a riding career. And another video I have posted, if we are buying pre-used bike, pre-owned bike or second-hand bike in other words, then which are the points we have to check before buying a super bike or any bike. So you can go through that videos as well to get the more information and updates on selection of bike, as well as which are the points to be checked before buying a pre-owned bike. Next point is about maintenance. So maintenance, till now I have done only one paid service of Busa, that to the moment I purchased the bike. So what I felt is it's completely depend upon the which parts you are changing, but if you consider the basic service cost, engine oil change, engine oil filter change, air filter clean either change, brake pad servicing without change, and overall general service, the Busa is around 1000 to 2000 rupees cheaper than Benelli 600 GT, and that is really surprised me. So maintenance wise, I am feeling Busa is little bit cheaper. But if you compare the cost of major parts change like brake pads or maybe chain and sprocket, the Busa will be little bit higher. If you go for OEM or original Suzuki recommended or Benelli recommended parts, that aspect, the Busa will be little bit costlier, but regular service point of view, Busa is cheaper. But if you compare the set of tire front and rear, Pirelli or equivalent brand, both will not have much difference. Around 3 to 4,000 rupees difference will be there for a pair. So service availability, spare part availability wise, all are equal. Benelli also is having a very good network setup in all over India, and Suzuki is already proven. So there is no much difference between the spare parts availability. Recently I have covered 1100 plus kilometer on Hayabusa from Nagpur to Chennai. That videos you guys have enjoyed and given a good response. Thank you very much for that. So I have not felt like I am getting very much tired after riding a Busa. In fact, I have conquered very small road villages. You have seen the videos already. But even after that, I have not felt like I am tired too much after riding for an entire day. And the last point is the brand value. Obviously, Benelli 600 GT has discontinued couple of years before, and Suzuki Hayabusa Gen 3 is there in the market now. So Suzuki Hayabusa 2021 model, and which I have the previous generation model, is still having the brand value more because Busa itself is a brand, Hayabusa. So that is the big difference is there in between these two brands. But the brand value is definitely Busa is on next level. Guys, आज के वीडियो के लिए इतना ही रखते हैं. If you are not yet subscribed the channel, please do subscribe the channel. We'll see you in the next video. Bye bye. Take care. Live your dreams, but don't leave your responsibilities.